Hey there. In this video, I'm just going to show you a little more of a couple things in my garage that I use to model with, and something else, a bench in another part of the property. Just to give you an idea of, I just have other things that I use to build models, and it's part of my bench process. So. Nothing special, but I always feel like I'm spoiled because I have this room to do this, but it's spread all over the house. For instance, when I'm filming here, I'm in a spare bedroom which I use as an office. This is where my computer is at. I don't care. I don't have a computer on my model desk. I don't have a television, nothing like that. Once in a great while I might play some music on my phone, but generally I'm in the zone. I just want to model, so I don't want any distractions. So none of that stuff is near my model desk in the garage. So in this room, since it's just a spare, I stock the models so they're inside the house, and then that's what I do. I just want to say thanks to everybody that subscribed. It's funny they call it a subscribe button, because to me, it's really, and I've subscribed to many other modelers and other sites that are not necessarily model related, but really it's just a bookmark button. So if anybody wanted to look at that and they go, oh, I don't want to subscribe, I don't want to get phone calls, and I don't want to get stuff in the mail, or I don't want to get crazy whatever, and I don't need the Men in Black to show up on my door. It really, it's just a bookmark button, because then when you're on if you have you have an account with YouTube, and you'll look over in the left hand side border when you are subscribed to people, all it does is list them, and then if they post something new, it has a little dot next to it that lets you know that there's something new that you may want to check out, and that's about it. And like I say, I don't know why they call it a subscribe button. All it does is automatically bookmark it for you, so you don't have to go searching for your favorites or bookmark them on your browser. That wouldn't make sense, because if they're bookmarked in YouTube, you can be on any device anywhere in the world, and you always have those bookmarks right there, all your favorites. So thanks for subscribing. But if you want to subscribe to my channel, or you're interested in models, or you're interested in what I'm doing, go ahead and hit the button, and then you'll see that every time I do post something, it'll be right there. I like the thumbs up is a good thing. That doesn't cost you anything. And another thing is, what's the other thing? Comments. Comments are great, because the feedback to me is important, so I know what you're thinking. Did you like something, or you didn't like it, or was it helpful, or was it a total waste of time? There's no way, actually this is probably true of anybody that is making videos on YouTube. You don't really know which direction to go if nobody leaves a comment, because you're not sure whether it's working or not. So for me, I'm just making things that I would be interested in. I would be interested in how somebody else builds models. I would be interested in what kind of models they like. I'd be interested in what they're building and what they're doing. Maybe they have some tips, whatever. That's what I'm interested in, but it may not be what you're interested in. Or maybe there's some special, like, you might be somebody that builds only Chevelles. I don't know nothing about Chevelles, really. I can't remember. I have built a couple Chevelles in my life, but and I should build more. But that's not my thing. I don't want to say that, because hey, if somebody gave me a free Chevelle, I guarantee I would build it. But it's not to my top of purchases for models right now. So, but you know, the thing is that if you said, hey, you know, I wish you'd do a Chevelle, or you know, or maybe, you know, whatever. I mean, maybe that's a little extreme and off base, but I mean, anything you leave comments, you liked it or you didn't like it, or you thought you could do something different, or you know, you have a better idea than I do, and that should be happening on every video, because believe me, there's a million ideas out there I never even heard of, even though I've been modeling since I was 8 years old. So I would be interested in your comments. So anyway, with that out of the way, just wanted to say thanks again. And I'm going to go from here, and we'll go into the other two video slides together, and that'll give you something to watch today. So thank you, and we'll see you on the next video after this one. I'd also mention that I have this area here where I usually take small pictures. It's just set up, it's just a card table. That's probably an antique. Usually these are, I take still photos for my books that I write about models. But I have taken them for the internet and probably for a video or something. But it's just ready to go. It's got a couple of lights and a background and everything like that. So it's always set up, ready to go. I don't have to move anything around. And since I've already mentioned that I paint outside, even though I have a paint rack on the desk, I have a lot of other paints underneath here. So these are like not really model paint. These are just paints that's, I would call them hobby store paint. I mean, I'm sorry. I can't think of the word, hardware store paint. That's what I would call it. So, you know, you get at a hardware store, Ace, or Lowe's, or Home Depot, or wherever, you know. Sometimes I get them from the parts store, the automotive parts store. I've had a medium success with these paints. These paints are always hit or miss. 50% of the time it'll say gloss on the can. You take it home, you shoot it, and it's not glossy. It's not even shiny. So I don't know what these people think they're doing when they make these products, but they definitely label the cans wrong. And they have the opposite effect. It says matte. You take it, you shoot it, and it's semi-gloss, and it's like it shouldn't have any gloss in it at all. It's really funny, but I would use them all the time. But you can't really. I've not had good success getting anything like Tamiya or Testers. But they're good for interiors and other things, or small parts. I use them for small parts. This is a great one here, this Rust-Oleum. I like this one because it's a silver, but it's like an off silver. So it's a very unusual shade, and it works very well. So I've been using this for years. And you know, like you get a gray like this, and modern cars usually have a gray interior, so this works good for that. Or actually you could use it on an undercarriage, because you know, once a car's been on the road for a few years, everything's all gray, dirty, dusty, you know, so it works for that too. And then there's the you know, you can use the really cheap you know, it used to be like $5 cans of paint, and I don't even see that I have any anymore. No, I don't think I have any anymore. But you know, you used to go at Lowe's, you could get a can of paint for like $5, and it would be flat black or gloss black. The gloss black is actually pretty good. I think this is the one, I think this one's pretty good too. It's very, very highly shiny. It takes about 3 days to dry. And you know, I use chrome paint sometimes. If I have a small part and I would rather have it chrome, I just simply use chrome paint. Not a big deal. A lot of these are what I would call failures, because you know, I tried the paint and you're not getting the results that you need to be, even presentable. This is my go-to primer. Duplicolor primer 2-in-1. I have used this primer on plastic models, vinyl models, resin models, just about any kind of model you can think of, and it always sticks to it. So I can't think of any model that I bought or built where this primer would not stick to it. So, and the great thing too is it has a fan spray nozzle. Instead of shooting like a lot of paint, hardware paint that you use shoots in a circle. So it just like puts a lot of paint out the nozzle in one place and just gets crazy. It's like too much paint too fast. But this being a spray nozzle, of course, you can go back and forth with it and get a nice thin layer of primer on it. So for me personally, I mean, you can buy better. I'm sure Tamiya is the greatest, but it's more expensive and harder to get. I don't have any hobby stores where I live, so I can't drive to a hobby store and get it. So, I can get this at the auto parts store, but I can't get Tamiya paint anywhere close to where I live. I can't drive there and pick it up. So I have to order all that stuff online. And that just adds to the cost, because then you're paying not only tax sometimes, you're paying shipping, so you're getting double whammy. So it's just easier to go to the auto parts store and pick this up. But I've had good luck with it, and like I say, it sticks to all kinds of different materials. So I'm sure I've used it on metal. So I mean, it just sticks. So anyway, that's my cabinet of all the oddball paint that I have. I don't really buy this much paint like this anymore, but yeah, some of these cans are a few years old. They're probably not even good anymore. But I keep them around because there's always a small part, that you want to paint. And you just get a big can for a few dollars and it lasts for years. So that's the way to go sometimes for me. But, and that's it. I just wanted to show you that I do have another stash of paint. There are some other things that I had that were part of my building area that are located elsewhere other than where my bench is. This is in the garage near my bench. It's near the bench, so it only takes a moment to go get it. So, and hopefully that lets you know a little more about how these models get built and how I do it. So that's it. Till the next video. Or the next section. Let me add some more to this video. Let's see. So I wanted to just show, even though I have the bench which is in the garage, and I've mentioned this in the previous videos, I have this other bench here which actually used to be in the garage, and then I had to actually disassemble it. I built it originally, but then I had to disassemble it, and I moved it into another portion of a small garage that I have on the property. So this is just it's a 4x8 top and bottom. I like to call it my aircraft carrier bench because it's so big. I mean, it's got wheels on it, so I can move it around and off to the side and everything when I need to. But more importantly, it has a vise on it, a small drill press, and a grinder thing on it. And the grinder, sometimes I use the wire brush or the grinder, depending on what I'm doing, sometimes on a project or sometimes on a model. It's good for making rubber tires look like they've got some wear on them. And then of course the drill press, you can drill small holes into all kinds of things when you're fabricating something. That comes in useful when I build stuff for dioramas and stuff like that. And then the vise, that sort of the vise probably gets used for getting the lids off of testers' paint jars more than anything else, because you have to throw them in the vise to try to get the lid off. But I do use it. When it was in the garage, it would be covered with model boxes and parts, because it just allowed me more room to spread everything out, and I used it quite a bit for that. But I had to move it because whenever I had a project on my house or needed to build something outside or something out of wood, or fix something, if you're a homeowner, you know what it's like. You're always fixing something around the house. I needed the top, so as a bench. So I decided I would move it into this room where it's a little more accessible. I can push it outside, make sawdust everywhere, and then push it back in. And it just works better that way. And generally, like right now, it's clean because I'm not working on a house project at this time. I miss it from being in the garage and modeling, but I just scaled down a little bit out there, that's all. But I just want to mention that as spoiled as I am, I do have this bench here as a secondary bench, and it has some power tools on it for other modeling projects.